Hello and welcome to this tutorial, and in this tutorial we are going to study something about arrays. So for example, let's say you want to create a JavaScript program in which you want to store, let's say, names of 500 students. So one thing which you could do is you simply type the var, which stands for variable. Then in order to store the name of first student, we type name1 and then we equate it to the actual name of the student. So let's say the actual name of a student is PQR, and you could continue this process for 500 students. So that would be a very inefficient process in order to store the names of particular students in different variables. So that's where arrays come into picture. So arrays are nothing but they are a collection of similar type of data types. So for example, if you want to store names of multiple students in a single variable, then we use array. So for example, if you want to create an array, you simply use the variable keyword. So we type var and then we have the name which you want to use. So as in this case, we want to store the names of the student. We type name, then we type equal new, and then we use the keyword array. So this array keyword is basically used in order to define an array. Now once we have these, we have parentheses right after the keyword array, and inside it we specify the names of the student. So if you want to specify name of first student, you give the double quotes and you type the name as ABC. Now in order to add another name, you give comma, and after the comma in the parentheses you give PQR, and let's say you want to add one more student. So let's say his name is XYZ, so you type XYZ in parentheses. Now we end the statement by giving a semicolon. So once we have all these names stored in an array, now if you want to access the content which is stored in an array, you go ahead and you use the value of index of an array. So an index of an array is nothing but the position of particular name in an array. So for example, this ABC right here is stored at the 0th position in an array. This PQR in the array is stored at the first position, that is the position number 1 or index 1. And the XYZ is stored in the second index of an array. So let's say if you want to access PQR, then we type document.write, and in this we simply type the array name, which is nothing but name, and in order to specify the index we use this square bracket, and within the bracket we specify the index value. So for PQR the index value is 1, and that is because our array starts from 0. So this is 0, this is 1, and this is 2. So if you want to display this the value stored at the second index position, you simply give the value 1 over here, and that is because this is the first index position. So once we have this, we go ahead and execute the code. Now in this case I am going to execute my code on an older web browser, and that is because the new web browsers have some issues related to JavaScript. So in the previous tutorial it was fine, you could run it on a new browser, but in case of arrays you want to execute this code on an older browser. So I'm going to open up Internet Explorer and I'm going to click allow blocked content. So as you could see, the browser has given us the value as PQR, and that is because at position 1, that is this position, we have PQR. Now if we go ahead and change this to, let's say, 2, so it is going to give us the value as XYZ. So if we refresh it, we are going to get the value as XYZ. So that was a basic introduction to arrays, and in the next tutorial we are going to learn one more method by which you could create an array. So in this tutorial we have created an array by using a simple method. We type var, which is the keyword for variable, then we give the array some name, and we type equals new array, and then we give these parentheses, and within the parentheses we specify as many number of elements as we want to add to the array. Now once we have the elements added into the array, the next thing which we do is we use the index positions of arrays in order to access the value stored at that position. So for example, this is position number 0, this is position number 1, and this is position number 2. So as long as you keep adding elements to the array, you could access it by using the index elements or the index positions. So for example, if you want to access this element right here, this is 0, this is 1, so you simply replace this by 1. So I hope you understood this tutorial. So thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.